Okay, so and for all husbands, what I'm going to say is for all husbands to heed, actually. When a husband marries, in Islam, he's responsible for providing for his wife. There are no ifs and buts about that. This is really important to understand. It is the cornerstone of stability in Islamic society, right? That a husband takes the responsibility of providing for his family as an uncompromisable responsibility. It is something that there are no ifs and buts about. It is something that he does not try to shy away from, and so forth. And essentially, if a husband doesn't provide for his wife, like in this case, the husband saying, well, I can't pay for you, there's a kind of, if you go back a step, if he had said that before marriage, right, then the simple principle would be that what he would be advised to not marry. He would be told, you shouldn't marry because you can't provide for your wife, right? So that's the first thing. Now, and based on that, just to save money, right, for a husband to say, oh, you know, I'm not going to provide for you because I want to save money, you go and get yourself a job, all right? From a purely Islamic legal perspective, it is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. That is a completely untenable situation, and it is wrong for a man to feel that it is justified for him to do that, and it's a kind of oppression. Every penny that a woman then subsequently spends on the family is her money that she is spending with no obligation to do so. All right? So for that reason, she is kind of being pressured into spending money that she has no need to spend money. That money is supposed to be spent by the husband. Right? So that's the first thing. And then men need to understand this. This isn't a joke. It's not a joke. Allah has given men the position of qawwam. And one of the key reasons Allah himself cites in the Quran, right? بما فضل الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم. That a man's position of qawwam, of being leader of the household, is because of the fact that they're required to spend on the family. And it's an obligation, right? Now, people have financial difficulties sometimes, right? Sometimes in financial difficulties, it becomes necessary for families to come together and help each other. That's not the problem. What shouldn't happen is that the husband kind of behaves like he has an option, that somehow he can just tell his wife to go and get a job so that he doesn't spend on her. That's unacceptable, and that breaks the principle. For example, in this situation, a husband has plans for the family, or whatever, or has debts, or is having difficulties, all right? In that situation, what he should be doing is he should be asking his wife for help. And the proper way to do it is, if she's earning money, that money is hers. She has no obligation to spend it on the family. It's her money, purely her money. And if the husband wants her to help, he can request a favor. And then she, out of love for him and to support him, she can give that money as a gift to him, right? As a way of supporting him and supporting the family, because she loves her husband, because she wants the family to work, and so on and so forth. That just becomes her generosity. And the Prophet ﷺ in one hadith said that a woman like that gets double reward. When a woman does that, she gets double the reward. The second way to do this is that the husband asks her to lend him the money. That, look, I'm struggling at the moment, you're earning some money, or you have some savings, lend it to me, inshallah, I'll give it back to you. That's the proper way to do mu'amalat, right? If you're asking your wife to give money to fulfill your duty, then she should either be giving it as a gift out of her generosity, for which she gets reward, and for which you understand that she's not doing it out of duty, she's doing it as a favor, and therefore the husband has to be appreciative of it. Yeah, and he has to show that appreciation. Right? There are men who force their wives to work and still behave like complete animals towards them. All right? This woman's she's giving her hard-earned money to you when you should have been doing the providing. Right? That was your obligation. Yeah? So that's one thing. So there needs to be some appreciation involved there. So now, she can give it as a gift, to him, to help him, to support him, or it can, it's perfectly okay for him to borrow the money from her and say, when my income increases, I'll give it back to you. That's perfectly understandable. That's how these types of mu'amalat, these types of dealings work. All right. Now, the situation gets worse when the wife is doing work that she doesn't want to do. She's uncomfortable taking care of strange men and so on and so forth. And depending on, I don't know the details of the situation, it may well be a haram situation for her, in which case she's doing haram in her job. Why? Oh, because the husband wants to save some money. What kind of reason is that? That's unacceptable. Don't save the money. Spend it on your family. What are you saving money for? All right, you're going to be answerable for this on the Day of Judgment. All right? In fact, what should be happening is if she is earning money, right, she should be saving hers, you should be saving some of yours, and then you can go and buy a house together in which she is a partner to the proportion of the amount that she contributes. This is how mu'amalat should be done between husband and wife. All right? You don't take things for granted, because later on you're going to argue about it and there's going to be disputes and conflicts between it. In Islam, a woman's money is her money, and as far as her maintenance goes, as far as the money that she needs to live her life, right, her basic needs, it's an obligation upon the husband to provide for them. And this is how in society the balance remains, where children have a parent around who can look after them, etc., etc. Otherwise you end up with chaos, right? And ultimately future generations suffer as a result, because you end up with a whole generation that grows up, being parented by carers, and nurses, and so forth, and no relationship with parents, no respect for parents, etc., etc., and all sorts of other problems. Okay, so that's my advice. How you then go and take that advice and deal with your husband is up to you. Please, I hope that you will do that in a responsible, amicable manner, inshallah ta'ala. But that is the position. Okay?